CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you were with us on this Wednesday, October 22nd. Provincial police are investigating a sudden death in Kearney, about 25 kilometers southeast of Sundridge. Emergency crews responded to a medical call in a bush area near an OFSC trail Monday at 9 a.m. A 71-year-old from Greater Napanee was pronounced dead at the scene. OPP say the cause of death is a firearm-related hunting incident. Well, it's a good day to have an umbrella or a raincoat. Plenty of precipitation out there. So, when will the sunshine return? For more on that, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
Let's give it 2 days, Tony. 2 days by the weekend, we will have better weather. Let's take a look at our systems map brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at getcaa.ca. What a mess hovering over northeastern Ontario. You can see precipitation, rain and snow, and of course we will have some sleet in the forecast as well, as it will diminish further south. But again, we're talking sleet right now heading into the final few days of October. We'll check out the 5-day forecast and a lot more, and we will have a nice run of sunshine coming up beginning on the weekend. That I promise. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. A code gray declared at Sault Area Hospital has since been resolved. Officials at the hospital say they were experiencing hardware issues and that their computer systems were down for roughly 20 hours. All affected systems were restored just before 9 last night. A code gray is a critical system or infrastructure issue impacting care. There was a heavy police presence in Chiging First Nation yesterday as crews responded to a fire that's considered suspicious. Manitoulin Island OPP and UCCM Anishinaabe police say the blaze broke out at a home on Assance Drive. Police say the Ontario Fire Marshal is investigating the cause. North Bay police are looking to get a better handle on intimate partner violence. Police recently hired an additional investigator to specifically look at cases related to IPV, and more training is coming. Here's CTV's Eric Tashner.
Following a horrific case of IPV where someone used their vehicle to try and kill their partner, North Bay police are reaffirming their commitment to addressing intimate partner violence.
We put a focus on intimate partner violence within this organization over the past 18 months.
According to Victim Services of Nipissing District, police responded to 545 calls related to intimate partner violence and supported 614 individuals in 2024. These include victims of sexual violence, criminal harassment, and human trafficking.
The appropriate actions are taken.
Last year, North Bay Police budgeted for the hire of an additional domestic violence investigator, and every single sworn member of the North Bay Police has received 4 hours of training to recognize signs of IPV.
We're stopping the potential violence from developing and continuing into the future.
Over the course of the next several weeks, all frontline police supervisors will attend an Ontario Police College investigators course on intimate partner violence.
Everywhere across the country, Canada has a crisis of intimate partner violence and sexual assault, so we really do commend this effort.
End Violence Everywhere, an organization which supports domestic violence survivors, welcomes the move, as only 30% of Canadians who experience abuse contact police.
The police can be that supportive system and connect these survivors to the external resources. Let's make it safe for people to come forward so we can prevent more atrocities.
By the end of the year, most or all of the supervisors handling IPV investigations will be fully trained to make sure investigations are victim-centered and that justice is served through the courts.
We're doing a job that looks after the victims, making sure they're well taken care of.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Court proceedings for Sault Ste. Marie's member of provincial parliament began today, though Chris Scott was in the legislature, not the courtroom. Scott is charged with assault and assault with a weapon stemming from a September 19th incident in Sault Ste. Marie. Scott's first appearance was held this morning with a representative for Scott's lawyer joining by Zoom. A Crown pretrial date has been set for November 4th. The next public appearance in Scott's court case will be November 12th. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. But first, let's go to Parry Sound. This live webcam is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 12 degrees. We are back after these commercial messages.
great thing about change, there's always change. There's change in the weather, and we're about to get it in a couple of days because, quite frankly, from what I've heard from a lot of you, we've had enough of rain. Forecast radar, this is why we're fed up with all this rain, and some people are saying, well, rain is needed, but of course we've had a lot in the last week, and of course some snow as well mixed in with that to complicate things. We like to call it sleet at this time, showers or flurries, but again, there's going to be a change in the forecast. Let's have a gander here. Sudbury Nickel Belt, your 5-day forecast, chance of showers tomorrow, chance of sleet at 30% on Friday. Here we go, the nicer weather, and it even gets better. Saturday sunshine, Sunday sun and cloud, Monday sun and cloud, 7 and 10 degrees. How do you like that? Meanwhile, in the Soo, chance of showers for tomorrow, chance of showers on Friday at 6 and 7. Then we have sun and cloud Saturday, sunshine on Sunday, and Monday 11 with the sun and cloud, 12 degrees on Sunday. Beautiful day coming up in the Soo. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of sleet tomorrow and on Friday, 60 and 40%, 4 and 3 the highs. Saturday, some sunshine at 6. A little bit of cloud cover on Sunday at 10, but that's not too bad. At least it's not raining or snowing. Monday, we've got some sun and cloud and a high of 10 degrees once again. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of sleet for tomorrow and Friday at 30 and 40%. Your highs around 4 and 5. Take a look at these evening lows. 0 for Thursday, -3 Friday, -4 on Saturday. Then it gets warmer. So Saturday, sun and cloud, high of 5, 9 on Sunday with the cloud cover. Monday, some sun and cloud and 10. And wait till you see the 7-day forecast. It looks even better. North Bay, West Nipissing, chance of showers for tomorrow at 6. Chance of sleet Friday, 7 degrees. Now that chance of sleet, 40%, some snow, some rain, the odd sunny break. Just one of those days. Saturday, sun and cloud at 7, 10 on Sunday, sun and cloud, and Monday, sun and cloud with a high of 8. So, Tony, here we go. Looks like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday of next week looking real good. Some sun, some cloud, and some warmer temperatures coming up in the forecast. So in just a few days, we'll be able to say goodbye to all this messy weather and precipitation because it will get better in time for the weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. When officials from Canada's largest gold producer are in Timmins to deliver an update, people buy tickets to hear them speak. Today, one of Agnico Eagle's key executives shared some exciting news. CTV's Lydia Chubak was there.
When the Timmins Chamber of Commerce announced Agnico Eagle's Andre Leite would be the keynote speaker at today's State of Mining luncheon, it had to add tables.
Because when we look at what's presented, there is so much opportunity in the region, a lot of growth happening, and it's important that we're able to provide that information and that ultimately everybody's able to gear up knowing what's ahead of us.
Agnico Eagle is Canada's largest mining company and largest gold producer, and among the messages shared here today is that it's getting ready to expand Detour Mine, Ontario's biggest open-pit mine.
Our project is to go underground as well. So right now what we're doing, we have an exploration phase that is being approved for about $100 million US investment. What we're working towards is to better understand the ore body, better understand the mineralization. So we have to take a sample. So a chunk of the ore body so we can test it. So that's our plan.
A recent chamber-led survey points out businesses have a concern about the shortage of skilled workers, and Agnico Eagle attests to that. It projects it will need 7,000 employees over the next 10 years.
Yes, it is a big number when you look, and we are doing this analysis really to better understand the picture, not just now, but in 10 years. So that we can suggest solutions, right?
More employees means more housing is required. And Agnico Eagle is already looking at how it can help increase inventory in Kirkland Lake, where its Macassa mine is located.
At this point, we're still in the study phase, discussing with different partners, with the community, with the First Nations.
Agnico Eagle says it also prioritizes training local youth, and it targets First Nations youth already living in territories where it operates. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Schumacher.
A motion calling on the province to compensate the city of Greater Sudbury for the loss of speed camera revenue was shot down at council last night. Councillor Bill Leduc's motion was in response to Premier Doug Fort's plan to force municipalities to remove speed cameras. Leduc argued that the Premier's mandate to force municipalities to take down the cameras would cost the city money, both in lost revenue and the expense of physically removing the infrastructure. However, Mayor Paul LaFive and others felt the motion was premature.
And if we have 37 different letters with 37 different directions asking the government to go in, I don't think that's very productive as to how we ask them to change or show support. I am in support, certainly, of automated speed enforcement program. And we've seen the success. It has slowed down traffic, and actually we're asking the wrongdoers to pay for the traffic calming, not all taxpayers to pay. And that's why I'm in support of that. That being said, I think there's better avenues.
Mayor LaFive says there's broad municipal support across Ontario to keep the cameras. Supporting Canada's baseball team coming up on CTV News at 5. With Toronto in the World Series, businesses are cashing in on the Jays' success. In a surprise move, Sault College's president has decided to retire. David Orizzetti had been on personal leave since at least July. Orizzetti has been with the college since 2017 and was named president in 2023. In a statement, the Sault College Board of Governors says the Sault College Board of Governors confirms that President David Orizzetti has made a personal decision to retire. The board thanks Mr. Orizzetti for his contributions to Sault College throughout his tenure. The board also reaffirmed that Sherry Smith would remain as interim president. The head of the college's faculty union doesn't expect much change with Orizzetti's departure.
There should be no big impact. Sherry Smith, the interim president, she's been doing an excellent job in David's absence. So I have a lot of faith in her, and I know she's just a really good person. The faculty and staff are behind her 100%, and I think we'll do good things going forward.
Moss notes that college president is a difficult job and hopes the full-time hire is someone who is transparent and wants to make the college a better place. More than 130 students gathered in Sudbury today for a conference. It's an evidence-based anti-stigma initiative aimed at inspiring students to be brave, reach out, and speak up about mental health. CTV's Lindsay Alick was there.
And most of the time, it didn't overwhelm me. Secondary students from all 4 school boards in the Sudbury, Espanola, and Manitoulin area gathered at Collage Boreal today for the annual Headstrong Conference.
It's really encouraging youth to go back to their schools to create what's called a Headstrong committee, and really celebrating like that, having a safe space, and encouraging youth to be part of something that where they can feel heard and make friendships and just like have a good time like in high school, and just feel like it's okay to have problems and that it's a safe space for people to talk to each other.
Jade Neveu and Avery Trudeau-Clark are grade 12 students at Sudbury Secondary School and say this is the 3rd time they have attended the annual event. They say they want attendees to know it's okay to reach out.
It's part of the slogan, be brave, reach out, speak up. I think everyone deserves to know that they are loved and they deserve help.
That's basically it. I think that they should always ask for help because it's not embarrassing to ask. And even if they think it is, I can't open oranges, so I ask for help all the time.
The day featured 2 keynote speakers, including Ava Walker-Savoie, an 18-year-old student, and Lindsay Mayu, a spoken word artist and author.
I hope that students learn today that they are not alone in any situation that they are experiencing, no matter whether it be drug addiction, homelessness, mental health issues, anything. I just hope that they know that they are not alone.
The Headstrong Conference is funded by the Mental Health Commission of Canada and the Greater Sudbury Police Service. All 4 boards take turns hosting the event and have done so since 2018. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Toronto Blue Jays fans are still pinching themselves after the team's nail-biting win on Monday, a victory that punched their ticket to the World Series that starts Friday. CTV's Madison Merrier has more on Jays fever in the north.
Sudbury fans have been cheering on the Blue Jays all year, but after the Jays beat the Yankees in the playoffs, memorabilia has been flying off the shelves like it's 1993.
Yankees lose. Since they won the American League East, the Blue Jay interest has been huge. Once they beat the Yankees, it just got so crazy. And now that they're going to the World Series, first time in 32 years, requests are just going off the roof.
Some fans even want to get closer to the action, and a broker from Star One Tickets in Sudbury is making it happen on a local level.
I would definitely buy off somebody that you can, know and trust. That's why I recommend coming into our store, physically calling us. Nowadays online, it's all online. You don't have a name to a face. Here you have a name to a face.
Ticket costs have grown exponentially in the postseason, but Reali says some fans are willing to go the extra mile for the chance of watching the Jays bring it home.
It's the World Series, first time in 30 plus years. It's against the LA Dodgers, the biggest market in all of baseball, I would argue. And it's also on a weekend. So demand is definitely at an all-time high. Prices always depend on what people are willing to pay, of course. But I would say compared to a lot of the online sites, we're in Canadian dollar. We're not in American dollar, which right now is a pretty big difference.
But not all fans are making the trip to Toronto. Many are watching the World Series from local sports bars.
I don't know. You just get those body chills and thrills and the excitement and, kind of almost like being there but not being there.
Bonis says for the upcoming series, the restaurant will continue to host watch parties, joining the rest of the country in backing the Jays.
It's definitely attracting people and bringing more people in. On the last game, Game 7, there was quite a lot of new faces, so that was great to see.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, he's written another book about an NHL franchise. When we return, we talk with Mike Comito of Sudbury. You're watching First at 5.
Pure Country 91.7 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
It's one of the most storied franchises in the National Hockey League and has won 6 Stanley Cups. The most recent was the 2010-11 season. We are talking about the Boston Bruins. And a Sudbury author has written a new book about the franchise. It's called Bruins 365 Daily Stories from the Ice, and it was released this week. Mike Comito now joins us in studio. Mike, so nice to see you again.
You too, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Why the Boston Bruins? I know you've written a book about the Leafs, the Habs, the Canadians. Why the Bruins?
I honestly picked the Bruins because of Sudbury and all of the Sudbury connections to the team. The publisher, Dundee Press, when we finished Habs 365, they said, what's next? And they wanted me to do Wings 365, which I think, a lot of people would be supportive of. But I said, if we're going to do anything next, it's got to be the Bruins. So, I grew up going to the Beef and Bird, spent a lot of Friday nights there, Saturday afternoons playing Porchetta Bingo. So I knew about Jerry Topazzini. And then obviously we had players like Eddie Shore, Doug Moens from Capriol, and then more recently the Nick Folignos, the Tyler Bertuzzi of the world have all played with the black and gold. So I just felt if I was going to do something that was not Leafs, that was not Habs, it had to be the Bruins, at least for me. So
Eddie Shore, you mentioned one of the...
sorry, Eddie Shack, I meant.
Eddie Shack.
But Eddie Shore is obviously a great Bruin, but I meant Eddie Shack locally as one of our connections.
Eddie Shore, of course, played for the Boston Bruins.
Yes.
Willie O'Ree, also, is he in this book, the first black NHL player?
Yes, absolutely. So I have Willie O'Ree in there. I have his NHL debut, which is obviously a monumental moment in NHL history, being the first black player to play in the National Hockey League. And then I have him scoring his first goal, which he did on his second tour of duty with the Bruins a few years after that.
This book is going to appeal to hockey fans, especially, as you mentioned, in Sudbury, but also Sault Ste. Marie, because Phil Esposito was from the Sioux and was part of that Stanley Cup run in the early 70s.
Yeah, so I've got quite a few stories about Phil Esposito, obviously one of the greatest players to ever wear black and gold. He's part of a trade that came over from Chicago, didn't work out too well for Chicago, worked out beautifully for the Bruins, and so I have a lot of stories about him. My mom and her family are from Sault Ste. Marie, so they know all about Phil Esposito. My grandfather, her father was quite the hockey player in his day, and the family legend has it that when Phil Esposito was growing up in the Sioux, he talked about wanting to play like my grandfather, Don Lotto. So we've had it confirmed. I haven't had it confirmed to me directly, but that's the story, and we're sticking to it.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention one of the best players ever to suit up for the Boston Bruins and in the National Hockey League, Bobby Orr from Parry Sound.
Yeah, A lot of Bobby Orr stories. For me, you know, a little bit before my time, but that iconic, you know, flying goal that he scored after clinching the Stanley Cup in 1970, it's become one of the most iconic pictures in hockey history. And then certainly what he did to revolutionize the game, changing the way that we view defensemen and what they can contribute to the rush and how they can contribute to the team. I had to include a lot of Bobby Orr stories. So there's quite a few. I even have a Bobby Orr and Terry Fox story together. Bobby Orr met him during his Marathon of Hope in 1980. They stopped in Parry Sound and Bobby Orr presented him a check. So I had to include that. I always try to include Terry Fox in these books when I can, but certainly Bobby Orr is a big part of Bruins history.
What's next for you, Mike Comito?
Well, excited to launch Bruins 365 this month, and then honestly just taking a bit of a break. This is the third book in the last 3 years, so there's obviously 29 more franchises I could do. So I could spend my rest of my days writing these books, but for now, taking a break. We'll come back to it eventually because there's a lot more hockey history to write.
Mike, always a pleasure. Continued success.
Thank you very much.
Mike Comito was our guest, and to see more of our author series, Northern Book Club, head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. Our first community close-up comes to us from the Blind River area. Larry Kirtley sent us a couple of photographs of the fall colors. He said they are fading fast with the leaves falling. Thanks so much for these shots, Larry. We're heading to St. Joseph Island, southeast of Sault Ste. Marie. Belinda Marion emailed us this photograph of an outbuilding, an old truck, and some cattle. Thanks so much, Belinda. And check out this video sent to us from Paulette Roy at Fielding Memorial Park in Lively. It's of a little squirrel chowing down on some birdseed. Boy, is it ever hungry. Thanks so much for thinking of us, Paulette. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can always email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.